Good afternoon. How are you today? Well, it's warm but pleasant. The air is still, it's later in the day, so it's a pleasure to be out. I'm watching several stories today that concern me. One, I may have a disproportionate interest in because when I was a kid, I had this view in a parochial school. We had a nun, Dominican nun, that were to teach the Irish kids how to be intelligent. And I did enjoy the teaching, but they didn't enjoy my talking in class, and they were always surprised that I knew the answer when they came to me. And once with my mom present on one of those parent-teacher things, I said, "You don't have to pay attention all the time. It's like watching TV. You can get it without giving 100% interest." So the nun, and I had several favorites, and the one that I made that remark to laughed, and my mom was scandalized, but she got over it. So there we are in grammar school, and one of the things we did in the day, we said the Pledge of Allegiance. And they changed the words of the Pledge of Allegiance at one point, and they added the words "under God." Now the nuns had taught me that we were to render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar, and to God the things that are God. Well, the Pledge of Allegiance was okay, but I resented being compelled to say "under God," even though then I was a pretty devout, small Irish Catholic kid in the South Bronx. So I didn't say it then, "under God," and I haven't said it ever since. So today, what caught my eye was the Robertsons, who have a daughter, Aurora, in a public school. She's becoming a Christian because of the teacher in the public school getting on her case. And the parents, who are atheists, are distressed. Now, the church has done horrible things to people. In my own experience when I was younger, the nuns told me if my dad didn't go to Mass on Sunday, he was going to hell. And that's not something that you tell a kid, but they did. And so, I thought I'd better tell my dad that, because I want to meet him at the pearly gates when I get to that point. And my dad, mostly self-taught, had a high school education, served in World War II in the Army Air Force, was a hell of a street fighter, and he was a very skilled electrician, among other things. So I said this to him, and he looked at me for a second. He didn't get angry, not that he would get angry at me anyhow, although I did give him cause from time to time. He said, "We all worship in our own way." That's what he said. And he set me free in a way to think as independently as perhaps he perceived I would be. And I resented what they had done then. In the years since, the church that I knew as a kid has gotten away from social justice and empathy and good acts, which are controversial in religions generally. And in modern times, it seems to me it's like they identify those to punish and discriminate against. So we're going to see more and more churches trying to invade not private, but public functions, government functions. If we haven't learned anything from the theocracies around the world, and apparently we haven't, succumbing to this influence when we can see how dangerous it is and has become. And the best of churches and the best of the religious don't push back. And maybe that's a weakness of empathy, that you can't be both so well, both empathetic and a warrior. I don't know. I've seen it among the Democrats, certainly. So that's one thing that I think we should guard against. And it's going to become a real issue, particularly in cases in which we're talking about school boards. And there are a couple of other things that bother me today. One is the notion that we can have revisions to how we choose the electors and it not be turned against us. So what do I mean? Consider, we accuse those who would have overthrown our government of violating the law. But some think we have to write the law because what? It's imperfect and they couldn't follow it. The law is very straightforward, both the Constitution that says you count and report, and the statute is pretty clear in the absence of legitimate objectors. So what are we doing? We're opening this issue as one of the sole benefits of the January 6th committee for legislation at a time when, even if we could get the House to agree, how would we get past a cloture vote in the Senate unless it favored a flexible way to choose electors that favored governors, as one bill does, that would present even more problems in 2024. And this is the history of fascists and autocrats and so forth. What they can't get by violence, they come back and they reform the law to grant them what they should be denied in any case. So I'm against that. If you want to pass legislation as part of the committee, well, then pass legislation to appoint a special prosecutor to guard us against the Justice Department losing its resolve to go forward, although they have in recent days when our clamor for them to act is at its strongest. Those are basically the things that I think should concern us. There's more, of course, but how much can we handle in a single day? So here I am, I'm giving you a final swing through my trees, and I'll talk to you tomorrow if I get the chance. Bye-bye.